Hey guys, Chris here. Back with what I think is the fourth installment, if you want to call it that, of what's in my stack. Third or fourth, I don't remember. Like I've said many times before, I don't do any research before I do these videos. I literally just turn the camera on and that's it, and I just go. Whether that be for good or bad, usually bad. A couple of different things. In this one, it's like I've said before, it's kind of usually how my taste in music goes. I'm kind of all over the place. I don't usually get stuck in like one or two genres or artists. I kind of just go all over the place for the most part. I mean, that's not to say I don't get stuck in this, listening to the same thing. Which, that being said, like a couple of these things in here, when I do the what's in my stack thing, it's kind of like, I listened to so much over the course of a week or 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks since I've last done one of these. I listen to so much that I kind of have to narrow it down to like I try to keep in mind, like, something different, something I might not always be listening to, because there's things that I'm always listening to. Certain albums are usually in my rotation no matter what. And I decided that maybe I should throw a couple of those in there, here and there, as I do these, just so I can tell you about some of the albums that I listen to and I spend a lot more time with. So with that being said, yeah, I put a couple of those in there, and then the rest of them are kind of just, just different ones that, I might not have listened to a lot in the recent past, or, maybe it's been a while. Yeah, whatever it may be. But that being said, the first thing I got, and I usually try to get the non-metal stuff out of the way, is Wu-Tang, Iron Flag. Let me get a little closer. For those, let me pull this a little closer. There we go. So for those who don't know, because I haven't touched on it too much, I am a big rap fan. I would say, besides metal, if you want to just lump in like metal, rock, in one thing, I would say that would be obviously number one, and number two would probably rap. I listen to a lot of rap. I tend to listen to more of the 90s, early 2000s stuff. There's a lot of rappers I like today. There's also a lot of rappers I don't like today. I'm not a mumble rap type of guy at all. I'm not, I hate to be that guy, but I'm not like a, radio rap type guy. I usually don't like the mainstream rap artists, with a few exceptions like Kendrick. I don't mind some of Drake's stuff. I'm not the biggest fan. Just trying to think. But yeah, I like more underground stuff. Like, if anybody out there likes clipping, I like clipping. Run the Jewels are one of my favorite. Like I said, Kendrick. Yeah, I don't. But that being said, I usually listen to more early stuff. And this is an album that I haven't listened to a lot. I mean, I'm familiar with it. It's not my go-to when I listen to Wu-Tang. Obviously, I've played 36 Chambers to death, as I'm sure if any of you are rap fans, I'm sure you have as well. So this one I wasn't too familiar with as much as the others. But it's really solid. I mean, the Wu-Tang might be the greatest combination of rappers in a group. I mean, I like Public Enemy. I don't know. I don't think anything matches Wu-Tang. I mean, you got RZA, GZA, Ghostface, Method Man, Raekwon, Inspector Deck, ODB, who might be one of my favorites from the group. It would be hard for me to rank the guys in that group, and I'm missing a couple, but yeah, everybody brings something different to the table. Everybody has their own style, which again I think is something that's missing nowadays in rap. I feel like there's just a lot and you could say that about any genre really, so it's not limited to rap. But I feel like rap, with it being so mainstream, you tend to notice that a lot more. So I notice that a lot of rap artists tend to have a similar sound. They just go after what's popular. And hey, more power to you. I'm not gonna look into someone else's wallet and wonder why they do what they're doing. I respect it. But with that being said, yeah, Wu-Tang, one of my favorites from that era. I think they still are technically active. I don't know if they've put anything out recently. I only have their older albums. I think the last album I bought from them, I forget the name of it, but I want to say it came out like in 2014, if I remember correctly. But they're good. Legendary. I don't know, what else I could say about Wu-Tang that nobody doesn't already know. And if you don't know, then you probably don't care, because if you don't know Wu-Tang and you don't love Wu-Tang, then that means you probably just don't necessarily like rap. Not to say that you couldn't like rap and not like Wu-Tang, but I'm just saying, like, if you don't know about them, chances are you're probably just not a big rap guy or gal. The next thing I got on here is switching gears a little bit. Some of you may or may not know this, because it's probably not going to be up anybody's alley for the most part, but it's Pulse Ultra, Headspace. This is like that mid-2000s, like alt metal type stuff. I'm a big a fan, I guess, not whatever, of some of the underground alt metal stuff, because it tends to have a little bit more of an edge to it than like your Breaking Benjamins or your Korn or your whatever, Trapped and all that stuff that was popular back then. I believe this band was one and done. I think this was the only album they ever put out. It came out in 2002. The vocals, some of you might like this. I don't know. I mean, again, it's alt metal, so take it for what it is. And but there's a little bit of Tool sprinkled in there. Like, the vocals definitely kind of sound like Maynard's. But even like it's not like progressive metal in any way, not even close, but they definitely have, I don't know, they lean into it just a little bit, that it just adds for something different versus, just a typical radio, alt, metal type stuff. And I'm pretty sure that, they made a name for themselves with this album. I think that they, word got out about them, but that was it. I don't know what the story is about them breaking up, but it's a really good album. I want to say the hit on this was Build Your Cages, I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this is just really good stuff. If you're a fan of that type of stuff, I am. What some of this older stuff is for you guys, like, this is the kind of stuff I grew up on. As early teens, preteen type stuff, like, that's what I grew up on. So that's just, it's like home to me. It, reminds me of being a child, and just, like, a lot of music I found was on like video game soundtracks, and I'm pretty sure I found one of their songs on, I don't know if I knew of them from that, but I remembered one of the songs, and I played this when I got this years ago. I think it was a Need for Speed game. So that's how I found a lot of my music as a kid, was a lot of video game soundtracks. I was a big wrestling fan, and still am. So, like, I'm pretty sure wrestling had a big impact on my music, because, it's a lot of rock music, metal music, and in wrestling, and the video games I would play as a kid had soundtracks. So yeah, all that. But that being said, they're probably worth checking out if you're into that kind of thing. The next thing I got is Sadist, Chemical Exposure. Oh shit. I was gonna show you the disc before I dropped it. It's like this limited edition. I don't know if it really comes across on there or not. It's like a gold disc type thing. It's limited. It sucks that the teeth on the thing are kind of a little busted. Yeah, but anyways, Sadist, really underrated. I guess you would just call them thrash, but they are like wicked gnarly. It's almost like the kind of music that makes you wonder why you like it. Like, it's just like, it makes you think, like, what the hell's wrong with me that I could enjoy listening to this? And I don't mean that to be insulting. I just mean, like, it's so nuts. The vocals are so crazy. If you know, you know. Like, I don't even know how you would explain this dude's vocals. They're so shrill. Like, inhuman. Like, this is what you would sound like if you were being tortured to death. It's just insane. And it's so fast. It's not a very long album. this has a couple bonus tracks that I want to say are from a demo or something. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much about them because I may be doing a album ranking for them, so I'll probably save more of what I got to say about them for that. But Sadist is an amazing band. I guess, like I said, I guess you would just label them as thrash. But it's like as extreme as thrash metal could be. That's, yeah, if you're looking for something completely different in that genre, Sadist would be the way to go. The next thing I've got is the Dillinger Escape Plan, their last album, Dissociation. I'm a big Dillinger fan. I could get why some people might not like them. They're definitely not everybody's cup of tea. I don't know if you'd want to call them mathcore, if you want to call them, you know, some of the subgenres names are just kind of silly. This thing is all over the place. It's got really slow, like, very somber songs. It's got the typical Dillinger, just like, what the fuck am I listening to type songs. My personal favorite being Symptoms of Terminal Illness. It's just a very sad song. I don't know if that was written for someone or about someone or what it was, but that's an amazing song. Wanting Not So Much To As To, it's a hell of a name of a song, is a really good, just nuts, typical Dillinger song. Yeah, I don't know. I won't get too much into Dillinger. I don't want to spend too much time on most of these bands for this. It's just kind of, you know, highlighting what I've been listening to. I don't want to, like, dive deep into most of this stuff. But, it was their last album. Sucks that they went out, but, the singer, and I forget the dude's name, is now in another band called Killer Be Killed, and that's Killer Be Killed. It was awesome. He's one of my favorite vocalists in metal. He's great. And that band is awesome. If you could, if you haven't checked them out, you should. So yeah, Dillinger Escape Plan. The next thing I got is this 2-album in one. I believe it was like a series that it was a Roadrunner was doing, From the Vault. 2 From the Vault is what it's called. I think they did, like, you know, this with like Merciful Fate and a bunch of other bands, but Slowly Rot and Cause of Death. Now, I was listening to this because when I had gotten a couple weeks ago the Executioner's Return by Obituary, I was not too pleased with that, and I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go and listen to what I love from the band, and these 2 albums are amazing. What I hadn't known until watching one of the Heavy Metallurgy streams was that some of the vocals on these are just not even like words, he's just making noises. So there's no lyrics, there's no words on. I don't remember if it was both albums or just one of them, which kind of cheapens it for me. I don't know. I like, even though like for the majority of death metal, I'm not good at making out the vocals for the most part in the lyrics. But I don't know. It just kind of seems silly to me. Kind of didn't ruin it for me at all because these are classics. But I don't know. It just, I don't know. I don't know why that bothered me. It just did. I can't explain why. But yeah, these, everybody knows these. These are essential beginners. You know, if you're getting into death metal, chances are one of the first 10 or so albums you'll probably come across and listen to is likely to be one of these. If I had to choose between the 2, at first one I listened to was Cause of Death, so I get it's probably would be leaning towards that. It's the one I'm more familiar with. It was one of the first death metal albums I ever purchased. I believe I got this on like Amazon or something back in the day when a lot of the stuff hadn't quite reached like the pricing that it has now, and the secondary market wasn't absolutely fucking nuts. I want to say I got it for like $5 or something like that. On one of those, like, if it was like, you know, half.com, one of those type of deals. Some cheap whatever store. Maybe it was even a thrift store, I don't remember. But yeah, this is essential. The next thing I got, and I think I meant to put this at the top, but I forgot, so oh well, is Bring Me the Horizon Post-Human Survival Horror. This is not going to be up most of your guys' alleys. This thing, however, it's going to be really controversial and probably going to make people hate me and never take my words seriously when it comes to some of this stuff, but I don't know if I put it as like a top 10 album all time for me, but it's up there. But it kind of just, I think most of it was that it hit me at the right time. This came out during a weird time. This was a COVID release. It was pretty early on in COVID. And life was just weird at that point. The girl I was with, we weren't really getting along. And I hadn't really seen my family much at all, even though we all live in the same house. It's a house split into 3 apartments, and it's like that old school Italian thing, everybody, it's my grandparents, my parents, my brother, and then me in the basement. Anyways, even though we all lived together, the separate apartments, so we were all quarantining from each other. I was an essential worker, considered an essential worker. So I was there. So things were just weird, depressing, but it's not unique to me. That's everybody, or for the most part, everybody that went through that stuff. I don't know, kind of made you appreciate things a little more, just the little things in life. But that being said, when this came out, I don't know if it was planned this way or if they had already recorded it and then it just happened to work with what was going on at the time. But a lot of this stuff the lyrics are pretty powerful related to, COVID and quarantining and not just the loneliness of that. And just, I don't know, how inhuman the world was for a couple years. And it still is to a point, but really not anymore. For the most part, things are relatively normal. So yeah, some of this stuff, every single song on here sounds completely different, which I really appreciate. And some of it is completely fast. If you were ever a fan of Bring Me the Horizon, if I have any younger people that watch, some of it is, if you're familiar with their career, they pretty much touch on every point in their career. Like some of the more poppy stuff, mixed with metal. They have some features on here, like Youngblood, who is I'm not really too familiar with him, but his song is great, but it's just a weird fit. They have a song with Baby Metal, who, oddly enough, I cannot stand Baby Metal, but I love the song on this, Kingslayer. Dear Diary is just a complete throwback to some of the early days. It's almost like a Bring Me the Horizon does Slayer type song. But yeah, this, I don't know. Had it come out at a different time, I'm sure I still would have enjoyed it. But when it came out and I listened to it, I saw a review on it. I've been out of the loop on Bring Me the Horizon for a while. And I saw a review that was really high on it. I'm like, all right, I'll get it. And I listened to it every day. Every single day, for a long time. And like I said, it was just, things at home weren't great, and there wasn't really much we could do because, me and my girlfriend at the time, I'm not with her anymore. Just things were rough, and didn't get to see my family, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a bummer, like it was for everybody else. So this was one of the things that helped me kind of escape it in a way. Yeah, not to get all emotional or whatever, but over Bring Me the Horizon album, but this thing was very important to me in a time when I needed something to be very important to me. And so I'll be thankful for that, for this album, for that forever. Even besides all that, the music's great. Yeah, I don't know who in my viewers would actually really like this, but it's just a personal favorite for me. The next thing I got, this just missed being in my collection update, that I recorded a few days ago. It just came in, and I finally got to listen to a physical copy of it, and that's Tomb Mold's Planetary Clairvoyance. I've already talked about this thing on probably a few different videos. While I was in and out of death metal for a while, I always, when I discovered it and I started listening to it, it was always in the background. I always would listen to it here and there. This thing is what got me, like, seriously into this stuff. Like, in a big way. Like, in a way that, like, it grabbed me, and I haven't left the genre since. Again, not to say that I wasn't listening to it years before this album came out, but this thing just, like, brought me into the whole, new old school death metal sound, and I found a whole bunch of new bands, and all because of this album and the sound that this album brings. This is, to me, is like the perfect mix on any death metal album ever. The drums are so strong, so powerful. It's almost, and the whole, it almost sounds like it was recorded live, like not in like at a concert, but just like, it just sounds like it was recorded live in like a fucking cave somewhere, while they're playing all their instruments in like the mud swamp of the cave. It's so echoey, and I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's just so massive sounding. The guitars are so fucking heavy. I don't know, this album is just, there's nothing I can say about it. The solos are great. There's acoustic parts in this thing that work so well. You wouldn't even believe. Most of the songs are pretty long. I think it's 7 songs, about 45 minutes, I think. It's one of those, like, I wish I hadn't heard this already, so I could have that experience of listening to it for the first time again. Yeah, I don't know. The songs, I mean, Beg for Life, probably my top 5 favorite death metal songs of all time. The riff is just unbelievable. Infinite Resurrection is amazing. Yeah, I won't go into it, but if for whatever reason you've never listened to this album, this is a must listen. They are the cream of the crop when it comes to that old school death metal sound. This one actually, without trying to, like some of the other ones, just sounds like it was released in the 90s. It just has that feeling. And that's all I got for you. This one longer than I thought it would, with considering it's just a short little stack of CDs here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm glad you guys are sticking around and enjoying and commenting. That means a lot. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.